Everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. We're looking at quite possibly one of the cleanest Super 2s that any of us is ever going to see. This is Bob's. It is a M on the serial code. I think that's a 1990. I'll double check in the video and post if I'm wrong, which, yeah, I usually am, but it's close. This would be, I think, the last year that it was made in this style before they changed over to the kind of anti-vibe style that had that squared off handle and it was loose at the back here. Anyway, this is a beautiful saw. This hasn't been abused. Fairly low hours. Bob wanted me to replace just about anything that was replaceable on it that needed it. Here we go. I'm going to say this is the original sprocket. So it was definitely at a point where when you got it out of the case, you replace it, but this wouldn't have been, you could have gotten another chain done on that one. But again, that's the original, so that tells you how many hours this thing has on it. Hoses, duckbill, went through the carb with the intention of putting a carb kit in it, and it just didn't need anything other than just cleaned out. And the only reason it needed that was there was the tiniest bit of fuel that had evaporated in the needle area. So I stretched the spring a little bit, cleaned all that junk out, pressure tested it. This does have an HDA, a Walbro HDA carb from the factory. At least I'm going to assume it's from the factory. This thing had no indication of ever having been opened up. I knew they used an HDA on the mid-90s, the little LX30s, which were basically a 180, but I didn't realize they'd ever put any directly on these. So, at least the first one I've come across. So anyway, you can hear it, it's running good. So we put a little drop of oil down here on the oil pump, or on the outlet, on the bar pad. That's how you can test to make sure your pump is working. Just put a little drop of oil on the outlet hole, and if you rev it, you get an air bubble, you know it's trying to fill up. Now I put some oil in the tank, but this is a completely dry system. So, you know, it's going to take another minute or two of run time to reprime that. So, yeah, like I say, hoses, valve, duckbill valves, air filter, spark plug that was in it looked like it had all of about 5 minutes of run time on it. So, this one I am safely going to say is good to go. I'm going to get the fuel drained, air it out, and Bob, it'll be heading your way soon.